Just when I think I can't love Spy Family any more than I currently do, somehow Best Dog ends up becoming even more of a good boy. And just the whole concept of just Anya and this puppy working together just seemed like a recipe meant for success after last week. And the concept of being able to see into the future, but no one other than Anya being able to know those predictions, because it's a dog, no one's going to be able to read its mind, unless you're Anya, of course, is a really interesting concept, because I think one of the best strengths that this show has going for it is they actually treat Anya like a kid. And often when you have those child characters, in the case of Anya, someone who very much can make things very easy to predict and easy to solve, they would write it in a way that you wouldn't believe the reason her not telling her parents about her ability would seem stupid, or would feel convenient for the plot to make tension there for no reason other than a lazy writer. But in Spy Family's case, this is a girl who is now in a situation among, like, her wildest dreams. Not only does she have a cool spy dad, she has an assassin mother who may scare her shitless, but at the end of the day, this is a family she wants to keep together, and she knows if both sides knew the truth about the other, her life would probably fail and cease to exist. If they knew she was being able to do things like read minds, there's no, from her point of view anyway, that Papa Dearest over here would keep her. So she has a lot of fear that feels believable given her predicament. And add in the ability to stop a big disaster. Literally, they showed Lloyd dying, and I believe that 100% would have happened had they not changed the future in the way they did. But there's a believable way to make Anya feel helpless, but also be the key to nearly every major predicament that could basically make the show cease to exist. And the fact that they constantly have fun with Anya's fear of being exposed, but also not knowing how to navigate things, like she has to basically come up with a lie of saying, well, what if dad doesn't have toilet paper because of his long shit, so she runs off, right? There's not much she can do in that situation other than appear to be a child overthinking something that shouldn't be thought about. But I think one of the best parts of this episode is when she doesn't know how to tell time. It's a very easy thing, and I wouldn't have thought of it, to be honest, if they didn't bring it up. I would have just been like, oh, she saw the vision, so she knew when to predict when the bomb would go off. But the fact that she was so, well, shit, I can't go back inside the prediction, and I don't know how to tell time properly, so she had to go to an old man sitting on a bench who showed her, like, oh, you want to know when it will go off? That's 30 minutes. And even after knowing that, she doesn't know the concept of how many minutes is in 30 minutes. And it's those little details that stack together to make Anya this adorable bundle of energy, but also a very flawed character because she's a child. She doesn't know a lot of things, yet almost feels like she has the weight of the world on her shoulders. And, I mean, if we really look at it from the viewer's perspective, Lloyd knowing what Anya can do wouldn't really ruin it, in my opinion, and I don't think he would dispose of her, nor would someone like Yor. But you can see the fear from her point of view, and how the fear from all the different points of view, that it's a fake family that's basically, it's treading on thin ice, but we know it becomes more real as the episodes progress. But the way an episode like this really uses that at its core to show us just how much pressure's on Anya, someone who can't tell time at the end of the day. It's a pretty intense situation while simultaneously being just adorable, because now she gets to ride on the back of this adorable puppy who just can, get so winded he's catching his breath, to just honestly feeling like both the most helpful and most meme-worthy character next to Anya, of course. I was actually surprised by how, brutal they made the flash of, holy shit, he's going to die. I didn't think they were going to stop it in this episode, and I'm not saying there couldn't be other flashes that will pop up in Anya's mind where she'll realize, oh shit, someone's about to die, so I need to figure out how to re-navigate the situation, which for a kid like her, putting ketchup on the door to say, hey, big boom behind here, was pretty brilliant, I have to admit. But I like the fact that you really got a sense of, even though it's so comfy, there is a lot of real threats that this series will deal with, and characters like Lloyd, as talented as he is, I mean, he almost got killed because someone rushed to the door because they really didn't have any time to sit around and wait. There's literally dogs strapped with bombs. One guy's still out there. We don't have time to play around, and our lives are meaningless in the grand picture of what a minister's death could mean for a giant war that would kill millions, right? So I like how they're really getting across how serious this core probably will turn out to be, while also showing us how they can blend the comfy without it feeling like it's taking away from any of the nervousness. Like, I was totally expecting to go into next week with, like, maybe the cliffhanger of the bomb going off and us not knowing Lloyd's fate or something like that. But it's great to see what they're able to do, and I love the fact that even a scumbag like this, who you just want to punch in the face for the bullshit that he's done, like putting dogs in harm's way, you know, putting kids in harm's way, just an absolute piece of garbage. But he did crack me up when he saw this old man running and being like, what in the actual hell is this dude supposed to be 60? What the hell are these ministers doing in this country, sort of a thing? And that was pretty funny. And it's a pretty dramatic end to the episode with the mask coming off, gun being drawn. Is it going to be fired? Is it going to be something else? There's just a lot of potential for next week, and obviously this core in general. But Spy Family has been one of my favorite shows I've watched all year. I loved the first core, and what I've seen so far of this one, it just feels like it's getting better, honestly. And it feels like now that the intro's kind of over, we're really getting thrown into more of the political side of it a lot deeper, and to see just the lengths people will go to get information, like that kick to the face with high heels. If you can feel pain through a TV screen, like, you know, they're doing something right with the art direction and animation, and they definitely got across that. The flickering of the lights, you know, them all talking mad shit to then just this woman making it more and more intense, to the point that you just were like, holy shit, a gun to the head is probably the most peaceful thing you can hope for at this point. Either way, I really do find myself enjoying the show more as I watch it. Yes, there's certain episodes that may not be quite up to par as some episodes like this one, but even the more simple episodes like the Ootin' to the Penguins, right? You know, it's just the way they simultaneously build this fake family feeling more and more real, but how Anya is the core and the glue that keeps this entire group together, but the fact that she has such a hurdle to overcome. One, ignorance of a child, not knowing so many different things. Well, I need to disarm a bomb. They're not red and blue like in the movies. What can we do, right? You have the ignorance of not being able to tell time. There's so much about her that just, she is a child, she feels like a child, but she knows she has to do things, otherwise her dad will get killed, and everything that she's grown to really love and appreciate will be torn away from her. And now that she has this dog, she'll be able to avoid a lot of catastrophes, but it's going to add a lot more pressure on top of her school life, getting the Stellas. I mean, eventually it will implode and she'll have to reveal to Lloyd and Yor what she can actually do. But it's something that feels still a long time away, but you can see how there's not always going to be a way for her to get out of a situation to go pour ketchup on a door to say bomb in here. And eventually Lloyd and Yor will probably have to figure out the lies from both sides, right? And I'm excited to see how they're going to continue to build this fake family that feels more real than a lot of real families in anime. And the fact that we're getting deeper into the political conspiracies and the real death threats that are popping up, I really like this core so far, and I really think they're bringing their A game, and I'm so excited to see where they're going to take it from here. But thoughts and feelings, what do you think of the dog? Best Borf over here, love him myself, but what do you think of everything that they've kind of done to spice up the formula that we've come to kind of expect from Spy Family, and what do you hope to see going forward in next week's episode? Do let me know. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and also subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.